It's a great honor for us to be here at this wonderful conference on community land trust. We are really thankful to the Canadian Network of Community Land Trusts, and NAT in particular, to give us this great opportunity to introduce our project, Fairbnb Coop Canada. My name is Parasu Saberi, and I'm one of the 3 managing directors of Fairbnb Coop Canada. Joining me here is Akane Miyamaki, our wonderful research and development officer. In the room, we have 2 other of our colleagues, Suzanne over there, our project coordinator, and JJ Sumber over there. The other managing director. And we will give a very brief introduction about who we are, what we do, and how we do it. We will be around for most of the day, and we'll be happy actually, both to learn from you guys, but also to answer your questions and chat about our project. There we go. So who we are. We are a relatively new federally incorporated workers cooperative that provides an ethical alternative to corporate short-term rental platforms such as Airbnb. Now, for many of you in this room, you already know that, as research have shown in the last decade, corporate short-term rental platforms such as Airbnb have really affected housing affordability in major touristic cities, particularly and touristic areas in particular, mainly through taking units from the long-term rental market and put them in the short-term rental market that doesn't actually abide to either how the housing or tourism sector regulations. And the result has been, going up rent for the residents in the neighborhood, and then we have a few players in this game that are making a big chunk of money. So our project, was born out of a simple question and of the idea that how we can change this situation with the short-term rental platforms. And instead of rejecting short-term rental platforms as something simply bad or we should ban it, we focus on what kind of innovation we can bring into this situation so that we can link short-term rental platforms and housing affordability in a positive way. And that was 2 years ago. So today we are very proud to announce that we provide the first cooperative short-term rental platform in Canada. Starting actually next week, our soft launch in South Georgian Bay, very soon in Toronto and Ontario, and with the vision to expand across Canada. And we're working in partnership with the Italian-based Fairbnb Coop that has been working in Europe since 2020. Our platform has differs from the corporate platforms in 2 major ways. We advocate and provide responsible home sharing, and we channel the benefits of short-term rental market into community land trust. In a way, we have 3 simple yet very complex goals. Our goal is to connect socially conscious travelers with fair hosts across Canada on our platform. We do believe that there are lots of folks out there that they're using Airbnb, but that's the only thing that they have, or Booking.com, but they were really on board and support our vision and our goal in terms of our project. We want to keep the economic benefits of short-term rentals in the neighborhoods rather than in the pockets of private developers and major landlords. And we do that through actually helping preserve affordable housing by our partnership with community land trusts. Now, of course, in this room, there's no need to actually highlight the importance of community land trust historically and currently to affordable housing, and more so for the right to housing for everyone and for actually actualizing housing as a human right. So what do we mean by responsible home sharing? Responsible home sharing for us, the way we understand it in our project, is about protecting units in long-term rental market while allowing residents, both homeowners and tenants, to share their living spaces with others, in order to make some extra money and help their own housing security. But we do that, and it's quite simple actually kind of doing that. The corporate platforms, they don't do that. But the way that we kind of do it, as you see here, is that first and all, we abide to local regulations in terms of short-term rentals. So in every jurisdiction that we work, we abide to the local regulations there. Most importantly, we only allow people to host their principal residence. And in that way, we're actually taking out ghost hotels, and we're taking out private developers and major players in the short-term rental housing. And we only allow registered hosts, so hosts that are actually the legal hosts that register with their respective municipalities. In jurisdictions that there are no regulation, and there's a lot of that actually across Canada, but hopefully the landscape is changing, we verified principal residency status in cooperation with another amazing legal startup, Notary Pro. And besides, housing, we also allow a bed and breakfast, and use hostels and campgrounds, any other form of accommodation that actually is not related to rental units in the long-term rental market. Now, here, my colleague Akane will explain a bit more in detail how we work with CLTs. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Parastu. I'll introduce myself again briefly. My name is Akane Yamaki, and I'm a graduate student from York University and the R&D officer for Fairbnb Coop Canada. So a key aspect of our platform is that we work in partnership with community land trusts in Canada to help housing affordability and ensure that we keep the economic benefits of STRs in communities. We partner with established land trusts and donate half of our service fees for all bookings in their area. To help housing affordability and ensure that we keep the in places where there's no local CLT, the donation is given to the Canadian Network of Community Land Trusts, CNCLT, our lovely hosts here today, to help form new CLTs across Canada. To date, we've partnered with the Canadian Network of Community Land Trusts and the Kensington Market Community Land Trust, who've been supporting our project from its birth. As we roll out our project, we're looking forward to signing up partnerships with more CLTs across the country. So how does Fairbnb Canada Co-op work? Just like other STR platforms, Fairbnb Co-op Canada charges service fees from guests, a total of 15% per stay. But unlike others, we share half our service fees, 7.5%, with local community land trusts. What this means is this donation is taken out of the booking price, and there's no added cost to guests or hosts. The hosts continue to earn the same income from STRs, and the guests continue to pay the same prices, but the benefit stays within the community and contributes to housing affordability. Fairbnb will provide a growing revenue stream for CLTs. Within 3 to 5 years, Fairbnb hosts could make up 10% of the legal short-term rental market. That money gets returned directly to the community and helps fund new and established CLTs. Unlike corporate SDRs, sustainable hosts will have much more modest occupancies, allowing for some tourism while keeping the character of communities and protecting housing. On average, we expect that sustainable hosts will see approximately 7 bookings or 18 nights of rental per year. And as our project grows, so too does the revenue we're able to pass on to CLTs. Here are some ways that you can support our project and in turn let us support your CLT. You can sign up as a Fairbnb social project, sign up as a Fairbnb host, or help us make materials to explain what CLTs are and why they matter. Help us spread the word by inviting folks you know to join as potential guests or hosts in stakeholder communities. We're especially looking to connect with more cooperatives and land trusts. You can find more information here and sign up using our QR code. And we've now got a few minutes for questions.
So if there's any question quickly for perhaps 1 or 2 questions quickly, and then we start the sessions for the conference. Yes, please.
I know that the Airbnb model has moved away from people actually staying in your home while you're there, and most do full home rentals, but do you work with hosts who host while they're home?
Yes. Please, yes.
You might want to repeat the question.
Repeat the question.
Hello? Sorry, my question was whether they worked with Airbnb hosts who actually stayed in the property and rented out single rooms. I know that's a dying art. Most people have moved to whole home rentals, but they might still exist. And they said yes.
Thanks. So we're in Guelph, and we've acquired a few properties that we're hoping to put into a CLT, and we have an intentional community on those properties. And we've been able to finance a lot of that by also having some Airbnb spaces. So it's very much mixed in, but there's some sort of model here that I wonder about where it can cash flow, but we're not just one house. It's three properties all clustered together. So would that model fit into what you're doing? Or would you only have a primary residence?
Yeah, so we definitely should talk a little bit more in later, but we allow both homeowners and tenants. So if in the units that like your land trust, I'm assuming people are leaving, or they can actually share that, but we definitely can talk about that later, as we kind of just like go through the day in terms of details, right? We also have flyers outside. It's on the table. There are flyers here, and the four of us actually are here. We would be very happy to answer your questions and giving you more information about our project. Thank you so much, and thank you very much, Nat.